Let me ask you a question then. If given the opportunity to excel, to be whatever you want to be, what would you want to be? Good response from a full class of university students. Come on. What would you want to be?
I would want to run an orphanage.
Perfect. What else? She's going to run an orphanage in Nepal. Anybody want to go with her? The guy who should fall in love should go with her.
I would want to be like a very powerful politician, but to prove that there are people out there, there are politicians, there are people out there that are very powerful, but are not corrupt. And
Wonderful.
Actually save people.
Wonderful. Anyone else? You could be whatever you want to be. And you could not fail. Excellent. Excellent. What else? Tremendous. Anyone else?
Exactly who we are.
Very good. Exactly. And even though, again, you may think that being an astronaut is out of your league, or indeed finding yourself as a politician or a wonderful person who's looking to take care of children, it's all going to require effort. Just being who you are requires effort, requires courage. That's a difference. We're not made this way, my friends. Schools do not let us understand who we are. I had so many teachers who knew what they taught, but not who they taught. And that was the difficult part of my education. See, this is why you're so important. Why you need to teach the teachers. That's your job. Really. Anyone else? Please.
Do you feel like you get a sort of negative response for trying to explore spirituality and religious, like sort of iconography?
Oh, all the time. People always look at the work and say, well, you must be really spiritual. You must believe in God. I believe in how God believes in us, quite honestly. And I always try to find what part of God is inside of me that I could work with. But that belief, I think, again, comes from a long line of being that altar boy, of having that aspiration to somehow work in that capacity. Yeah, it's hard. It's sometimes not easy. But if I didn't want to risk it, I wouldn't put it in the work. See, risking something means that you have to allow it to have some sort of life. If you don't nurture it, if you don't indeed give it a chance to grow, it's not going to grow. It's not going to be anything part of your life or your vocabulary. Your vocabulary is unique, important, if you let it be. But again, if you start to wonder, well, who's going to say this about that? Or if I make this, it's going to offend that person. Or if I do that kind of work, all of a sudden people aren't going to necessarily like it. You won't make what you're supposed to make. Who's going to make it then? Will you leave it to someone else? I hope not. I really do. Because an orphan will need somebody who knows who they are. An orphan will need to know your hope so that they will know what hope can be in their life if you let them. Anyone else?
So what if you want to be a photographer and you don't want to be a commercial photographer and you don't want to be a teacher?
Good. So now you have to find some way to go ahead and do it without having to do it. Does that make sense? No? Good. Let's try it again. If I want to go ahead and create photography in a way that indeed is important to me, but I'm not looking at the specific kind of restraints of saying, oh yeah, I have to be a commercial photographer, I have to teach, then you're going to be very, very excited to know that you can do it by being able to be the best waitress there is. No shit. No, really, because you won't mind being a waitress because there's purpose to do it. You know that that amount of money is going to go into the work. Now, you may think, well, a waitress, why would I want to be a waitress? But if you love what you do, you will do anything to do it. We don't worry about that, indeed, when we go to concerts. You guys don't buy the cheap seats, right? You don't say, well, give me the worst seat in the whole house. I want to sit in the back and I want to not even see the stage. You don't do that. You say, give me the best seats. I want to sit up front. I don't want to sit in the toilet with earphones, okay, in the back. You do this. But again, you would go ahead and sacrifice a lot if you believed in it. This is why California's educational system is going down the tubes, because teachers fucked up. They didn't get a chance to go ahead and inspire their students enough to be able to want to go ahead and put that money into education. If you really think about that, you can really understand why there are so many programs that are falling apart, because we just didn't teach well enough. We just didn't inspire well enough. We didn't give them the options to understand how important this is in their lives. So of course, all this is crumbling away. It's our fault. Your opportunity to teach, though, might inspire someone, as her orphans will, as your, indeed, people that you represent, wherever you might be politically. That's what I'm saying. He said, if you love what you do it. And some of you will find this. Some of you, when you become parents and indeed have to do 2 jobs, know why you're doing it. Because there's somebody back there who needs you, who needs to eat, who needs to have hope, who needs that kind of money of support. You do it when you love it. The only time you'll work is when you hate it. In my belief. Anyone else? You sure? Please.
What's your favorite piece that you produce?
My favorite piece? I haven't made it yet. Actually, I made one this week and I'm going, ooh, that's pretty nice, but I'm not too sure if it's my favorite. Yeah. They're like little children for me, you know. It's like, oh, look what was born today, you know, it came. Oh, there it is, hello, you know, and you make baby noises to it. Aduwu-gubu, ajawa, you know, and it's just like it's saying, leave me alone, you got enough, go to the next piece, you know. But it's like one of those things that I think for a lot of us, when you fall in love with what you do, it's always a birth, and they're always your kids. So when somebody says, what's your favorite piece? It's like saying, well, what's my favorite kid? This one's a little taller, this one's not too smart in school. I'll choose this one, you know. You can't do it that way. Yeah, at least I can't. Sure. I mean, I would hate to be well known. You know, this is the weird thing why you guys would ask me to even come here. Nobody knows me, you know. It's so interesting. I always tell my students, do you want to be as important and as well known as Ansel Adams, or as important and as well known as Don Anton, which is like way down here, you know, down underneath the ground down here someplace. You know, and it's weird because, again, oftentimes people will go ahead and equate, well, if you're well known, then indeed you're, you know, popular and important. But it's not the point, you know. For me, it's not putting that effort in there. It takes too much effort. It takes too much effort to have to go and find shows and to get into an exhibition and to get into a group show. I'd rather make work. I'd rather teach. You know, my students teach me so much. Right now I'm on sabbatical and I miss them so very dearly. And it just doesn't seem right. It feels so selfish. But I'll be back soon, and I'm looking forward to it. Anybody else? Please.
When you have a show, do you put any type of description next to your work?
No, never.
No name,
Nothing. No. I'd rather let them figure out what it is. Because art's never finished by the artist, ever. It's always finished by that person who brings something to it and then completes it. Gives them a chance to go ahead and say, this means something to me because of this. This is a great thing that some of you are going to find. At one point, you're going to make a piece of art that somebody's going to go, thank you. And you're going to go, for what? You said what I couldn't say. You gave me a chance to understand what it was that I wanted to say, and now I can maybe say it. And this is the great thing about teaching. This is the great thing about having Mia Semmingson as a student, because she taught me so much. She made me believe that indeed in that person there was somebody who cared enough that she would go ahead and teach somebody else. And today I was very honored to meet one of her students who is now teaching here as well. You see, the lineage runs far and wide. And as a teacher, you never ever know how far that will go. But it becomes something that as you start to light a flame in someone, they do the same for someone else. And it's not important that they come back and thank you. It's only important that they share that light with the next one. Anyone else? Like I said, I am available to you. You can always use my email if ever you have a question. If you're ever in Humboldt County, I won't score you any dope, okay? Just to keep that in mind. I had a student once say, hey, can you send me some? I'm like, no, I'm not going to send dope. I mean, what's wrong with you? You know, why would you ask me? But it's like one of those things that indeed, unfortunately, my university is famous for. So if you need me, you know where I am. If I could be of any assistance in your process. I will not tell you anything that I can say will get you to where you want to go. I don't have your answers, but I have mine, and they might be of some use to you. Okay? Thank you.